That's what it's going to look like with the notch cut out. It's not the smallest, bit, so it left kind of more of a circle shape. I don't want a straight square cut out. I wanted a little bit of, radius to the curve, but that's a little bit too much radius, but, it's not bad. I think for this one, it's going to work. I just need to get a little smaller bearing guided bit that'll just cut a little tight radius in there. But for now, I think this is going to work. Let's move on to the next step. I don't know if you remember, but in the last video I said I could probably make a jig out of 3 pieces of wood to cut that notch into the fretboard, and this is what I was talking about. So I didn't use wood, I used MDF, but I cut 3 pieces out. I cut one strip in the middle. I think I cut this one 14 millimeters wide. The notch I had cut in the neck where the little spoke nut is sitting is about 15 millimeters. So I just went 1 millimeter shy, just so there's a little bit of clearance covering up that notch in the neck, so that all you see is fretboard. I didn't want to see like neck wood coming out, poking out of the sides of where that notch is. That's just what I decided to do. Whatever you want the width of that notch to be, you cut your first piece. And then I cut just 2, I think these were 25 millimeters, just to make it wide enough to put on top of the fretboard. And I just lined them up and just pushed this one down a little bit and glued them together. Made sure it was square, perfectly square across the top, and drew a center line on it. And it seemed to work. You saw how I attached it to the fretboard with double stick tape and just ran it into the router bit. But like I said, I need to get a smaller bit so that it's not so rounded off, and I'll do that for the next one. I got the tuners in, Wilkinson brand, although it looks kind of like the Goto packaging. I use Goto on my acoustic guitars, and it came in a package that looked kind of like that. But anyway, this is the template, and these are the tuners. So these tuners that I ordered from center to center on the pegs are about 120 millimeters. As you can see, if I put that up to the template, it comes up short. So these holes are 26 millimeters apart, and these are 24. So there's about a 10 millimeter difference there on where they would end up at. So I don't want to start the first tuner here and then end up being short on this side and just being too far away from the end and it being off balance. So I want to kind of center them, I think, in the middle. So I need to figure out where that line's going to go, or where that first one will go, and then I can measure 24 millimeters apart, make the cuts, and then be kind of where I want them to be. I'm going to take these off, draw a line all the way across at 14 millimeters away from the end, and then figure out about centered, figure out where my first hole is, make a mark, and then mark it out, and then take it over to the drill press and drill them out. Now, first of all, I've got these bushings that go on the top, so I'll need to drill a hole first for those. 11/64 of an inch, I believe, is the size drill bit I had to buy to be able to do this. So I'll drill the holes about as deep as these things are tall, and then I'll do a through hole with a smaller drill bit for these. So let me get set up, draw the line, figure it out, and hope I don't screw this up. Okay? That line is exactly 14 stinking millimeters on the dot. So now let's figure out about where that needs to go. I think that right there looks about centered. Where in the world did I put the pencil? So I'm going to draw a line right there. That'll be the first mark. So there's the first line. So I should be able to line this up and count 14 millimeters. I'm going to set the 10 right there. So the next one should be at 24, 38, 52, 66, 80. Okay, I'm doing 14 millimeters instead of 24. I'm an idiot. Good grief. Let me, I was starting to think, wait, I don't have that many strings. What in the world? Okay, let me erase those and start over, and I'll catch back up with you. Well, it's a good thing I went ahead and stopped and thought about what I was doing, because I can't drill for the bushings yet, because I'll still be cutting some of this headstock away, and I would have just cut those bushing holes off, and that would have been bad. So what I'm going to do for now, since I have the holes already marked out where this should go, I'm going to drill a 1/8 inch hole all the way through at each one. So that way, after I shave off when I need to for the headstock, I'll still have a hole there that's small enough to help guide the bits and stuff down where they need to go and give them a starting point. So for now, just a 1/8 inch hole. Well, like I said, it's a good thing I stopped to think about it after I drilled these holes. I don't need to drill two separate size holes. I can just do the 11/64 inch hole all the way through. This bushing will go in the top, and then the tuner will come through the back, and the bushing basically holds it in place, and then a nut will go, or not a nut, but a screw will go in the back to hold that steady. It's just the same way I do my acoustic guitars. One hole, bushing in the top, the tuner through the back, and the bushing holds it in place. Like I said, like I just said it all over again. Just threw it on the ground. So anyway, let me go back to the drill press. Hopefully, I kind of wish I would have done a smaller hole than the 1/8 of an inch, because it is kind of big for the brad point of the drill bit. I'm gonna just have to try to line it up the best I can. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these holes all the way through, and that way I'll be ready to thickness off the front of the headstock. But I did stop short of 3/4 of an inch, which is what this should be. I left it about, I don't know, 1/16 inch thick. So I think once I drill these holes, which may create a little bit of tear out on the back, I'll go ahead and run it through the drum sander and get it down to the final thickness of 3/4 of an inch. And then I can go ahead and get the fretboard on and stuff like that. Right now, do I need to put the truss rod in with silicone or something to keep it in place? I'm not sure. I don't know. These are things that are going through my mind. I'm trying to figure out what to do. Let me go ahead and get these cut out. It's pretty cool. The tuner's all lined up pretty good in there. I think I got it pretty good. Let me take them out for you. Pretty clean on the back. Got a little bit of tear out on some on the front, but like I said, that's going to be getting cut down. So, came out pretty good. I'm happy. I'll go ahead and take care of getting this thing down to final thickness real quick. I was an idiot and decided to sand the neck with some 80 grit to kind of freshen up the surface, get ready for glue. But that was before I put the fretboard on, which means I erased my center line that I had up here. So I've got it back on there as centered as I think it was or should be. And I went ahead and clamped it down. So I'm just at the point where I want to go ahead and just get this fretboard on and be done with it. I'm just using a 1/16 inch drill bit. This is the same thing I've done on all the acoustic guitars I've built so far, and I didn't have any issues. I'm using North Georgia term that I learned when I moved here. I'm gonna waller it out. Just a very, very small amount, just so that I can get the drill bits in and out a little better. What in the world? I had 3 drill bits out here. Put that right there. Put that right there. So when I put it on, I should be able to. There's one. There's the other. That's the spot it goes. Then I can take this. I've got some holes drilled in it, and I can sit over there and I can clamp it down. I think I'm ready to go. Let me go ahead and get my glue out, get a bunch of clamps out, and then let's do it. Okay, over on Instagram, I had questioned whether I need to silicone in this truss rod or just leave it. I decided to just leave it. I don't think it's going to really rattle around too much. And I decided that if I ever do need to take it out, I'll just take the neck off and it'll just slide out back here. So, wrong decision or not, I don't know. But I posted about it on my Instagram channel, CMR Wood, if you want to follow there. I'm just kind of laying by here a little bit. I did this on one of my acoustic guitars where I covered the truss rod, but I was using a different kind of truss rod. So I'm going to cover it up just to make sure I don't get any glue down inside the truss rod before I even put the neck on. I drew a line here where I need to not put glue because that's where the fretboard stops. Right there. Okay, glue squeeze out, glue squeeze out. Heck yeah. All right, let's take a look. It's the next day. It's been all day. I'm back from work. See what this looks like. Nice. Not too shabby. Pretty cool, right? Check it out. And I tried this right before recording, but I can take the truss rod out if I need to. So I think I may do that in order to route up against this spot right here, because I don't want to screw something up. But I'll have to get real close, but not go all the way, and then clean up, I think, with some sanding and stuff like that. I don't hear it rattling or anything like that, so that's good. Cool stuff. I'm going to be taking such a small pass, like less than 1/4 of an inch. Now the grain is running this way. The router bit will be spinning this way. So if I had it like this, it would be pulling at those grains and possibly breaking them out. I don't have any spiral cut bits. I just have a straight blade bit. So I think it'd be better if I got some shearing spiral cut bits that do more of a shearing action. I need to plan on getting some of those, but for now I'm going to go at it like this from both sides just because of the way the grain is running. So here we go. I've been sanding for about 2 hours straight, and I've got everything up to 120 for now. I've got the whole neck, the back of the neck, the back of the headstock, all the edges sanded up to 120, except for the front here because I'll be cutting that off to shave it down. And what took the longest was the body. All the burn marks and stuff on the side. I did use the spindle sander. I used random orbit sander, hand sanding. I say hand sanded for a long time, and then reestablished the round over a little bit where it kind of sanded off a little bit. The reason I wanted to sand everything up to 120 now was because before I cut the neck pocket, I wanted to make sure that everything was down closer to its final thickness. Sanding with 80 probably a little bit takes off some of the thickness, so I wanted to make sure that I used the roughest sanding now before I did the neck pocket, so that I don't end up with any issues with how deep my neck is sitting inside the body. So that's why I've got everything sanded up to right now. It's paint grade wood, so some of these marks that I thought were burn marks are actually just marks in the wood. There's a whole section of them right here and some on the side. It's just spots in the wood. I'm ready to move on to the next step, which I'm going to have to look forward in the course that I'm going through, which is on Lutheryacademy.com. There's an electric guitar building course on that site. It goes through how to build a Telecaster and then how to build a Les Paul style guitar with a carved top. So I'm just doing the Telecaster for right now. I think the Les Paul has a set neck, which I think is just with the necks glued in, not just bolted on. I just wanted to give you all a heads up about some videos I've been watching. The guy named Sweet Tea, his name's Todd, but he has a channel called Sweet Tea Guitars, and I've been binge watching his entire library. He started back in 2020 or something like that, and then ended up doing the Great Guitar Build Off, and ended up winning the scratch category for 2023. But I've really grown to enjoy his content. He's so motivated and passionate about guitar building. Is contagious. His passion for it is contagious, and it just makes you want to go out in the shop and just start working. So Todd, I don't know if you'll ever watch this, but man, I appreciate it. You've been kind of lighting a fire under me to get out here and just start working. I know you work a job and then you go down to your shop at the end of the day, so I've got no excuses. I have been able to knock this out during the week. I did the fretboard at the end of the day after work. I've done a lot of work on this electric guitar so far after work when I'm the most tired and less motivated. Thanks to Todd. Watching his videos gets me motivated. So thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. And of course, I'll put a link to his channel in the description box below. I wiped it down with some mineral spirits. And I want to point something out. You can see that chip out there. I did that when I was getting the wood out for the nut. It was an accident. So I'm going to wait and see what the radiusing does, how much that reduces. Maybe not a whole lot, but luckily it's on this side of the nut and not this side. But anyway, I just want to point that out. There's the neck transition up to the headstock. Somehow I cut my finger and got blood on it, so I've gotten blood on every single build that I've done so far. My first guitar probably had blood, sweat, and tears in it. Second guitar had just blood and sweat, as well as my third and fourth, and now this one, so far just blood. I haven't sweated on it yet, but it's still early. We'll see. Thinking about the neck pocket, and if I put my template here, I've got a mark here where it's going to end, which is about 75 millimeters. But the problem is, if I take my neck, it just slides in there too easy because I've sanded on it. I've sanded on the side a little bit. So I don't know, do they expect you to do the neck pocket before any kind of sanding coming off the router? Am I supposed to just leave all this rough off the router and then just go straight to my neck pocket? I don't know. I'm just asking a question. I'm just thinking out loud. I'd rather it be super tight, like not splitting the wood type, but you know, to where it's going to take some pressure, a little bit of hand pressure to push it down in there. And this is not going to work because it's too small because of the sanding I've done. So anyway, I'm going to have to do a makeshift neck pocket template, and I'm going to go ahead and get set up for that, and I'll come back to you when I'm ready to go ahead and get the router going. There it is. There's the contraption for the neck pocket. Neck pocket will be right there. I'll just route that all out. Over on this side you can kind of see a gap, so I guess that side of the neck is not fully enclosed by the neck pocket, so I guess that's normal. So anyway, let me get set up with my router, and let's get this thing cut. I'm going to go ahead and drill some Forstner bit holes just to give some relief to the pocket and not have to take such a big bite with the router. Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment here. I just had a panic moment for a second. I plugged the router in just a minute ago and it started going by itself and started inching this way. And luckily I got the plug back unplugged and grabbed it before I got too close to the guitar. I must have hit the switch when I was putting the router into this base. That's the only thing I could think. So that's the first time that's ever happened. That kind of scared me a little bit. Had a little pucker moment there. But all's good. Didn't hit anything. I'm ready to go. Alright, it looks pretty good, nice and clean. So I'm going to go all the way down to where I need to go, which is, good grief, not much longer, not much farther. I didn't even check when I plunged. It's a good thing I didn't go too far. Well, let me just go down a tiny bit more. So let me go ahead and take care of this, and I'll catch back up with you when I get done. Got my glasses all jacked up. Alright, let me check. Looks like I'm right at where I need to be. I made a mark over here too, you know. Looks like I just cut it off, so that's pretty good. Let me get this thing off. I ended up doing the whole thing with this inch-long router, bearing guided router bit. Let me get this thing off. Put that there. Okay. Here is the test. Let's get the neck. Alright, now the test. And I'm so excited to see how this thing's gonna look. Oh, you know, it looks pretty good. Can't lie. It is too tight, which is fine. It's fine. It's fine that it's too tight. All I gotta do is just sand it down a little bit. I don't want to do too much now. I don't want to do too much. I need to go a little bit more. So let me take care of this real quick and I'll come right back to you. Alright, check it out. It's just boom, barely going in. I don't want to force it too much, so. But I'd rather be tight than it be too loose, you know? I think this is the better situation. Ooh, it's going in there. It's going in. It's not seating all the way down though. Probably need to work on this round over a little bit. It looks like the round over of my router bit may not exactly match the round over of the fretboard neck. So I need to work on that round over. Let me do that. And then once I get it fitted pretty good, I'll bring it back and I'll pick it up and you can see what it looks like. And we'll get an idea of how it's going to look. Pretty cool. All right, I've got it fitting pretty good. And it's pretty slip fit. You hear that, huh? It's in there. Got the neck pulled up as far as it'll go. All right, here we go. This is pretty sweet, man. Gotta say, it's an exciting feeling. But man, to see it, it looks stinking awesome. I mean, I can't even explain to you how I feel right now. This is just awesome. Once you see something come together like this and start looking like a guitar, man, this is great. So, looking at this, it looks like the fretboard sticks up a good bit above the body. Now, I routed the neck pocket down to standard depth for a telecaster, and my neck right now is at the standard thickness of a telecaster neck. Of course, I haven't radiused the fretboard yet, but right in the center, it's going to be around an inch thick. And right now, it's sticking up above the fretboard about 10 millimeters, which is about right. I mean, usually when I'm doing an acoustic guitar and I shoot my straight edge over the body, about where the saddle is, I'm around in that area, somewhere around 10 millimeters before I put frets and stuff on. So I guess that's pretty good. It just looks strange, I guess. I've never really inspected a telecaster up front. It just looks like it should sit lower, but I guess it's okay. But anyway, this is so cool. I'm so excited. I can't wait to move on to the next part. And I can't believe how quickly this is going together compared to acoustic guitars. It seems like I just started this thing and I'm already got the body put together. Oh man, I can't believe it. So the major thing left is shaping the neck, I think. Of course, I've got to do some finishing and painting or whatever I'm going to do. I'm at a stopping point because I don't have anything else to move on to the next step. I do have tuners, but I need neck bolts, which I'm thinking about doing inserts and instead of screwing wood screws in, so that when I take it off, I'm not ruining those screw holes every time I take it off. I got that idea from watching Sweet Tea, the guy I mentioned earlier. He has used inserts in his telly necks, his bolt-on necks before, and I like that idea. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video and for watching all these videos. I'm not really getting a whole lot of views on this series, but I don't even care because I'm enjoying myself and I just like doing it, okay? I make videos because I get fulfillment out of it. So if you want to subscribe, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. If you're watching the videos and coming back and not subscribing, that's cool with me. I mean, at least you're coming to watch. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But this is going to do it for this video. Like I said, I don't even have frets. I got to get frets, inserts, bolts, paint guard material, a nut. I think I got a nut blank I can make out of bone. I don't have strap locks. I don't have the paint to paint inside the pickup cavities for shielding. I don't have any of that stuff, so I got to get some more stuff. And then I'll be able to move forward. But for now, I'm at a stopping point. I don't even have anything ordered. Nothing's coming in the mail. So I got to make a list, check it twice, find out who's naughty, or make a list, order the stuff I need, and then I can move on to the next step. And I'll see you in that video. Thanks so much. Bye.